G'day guys, welcome to Rumble's Fish Room. So just editing my video for today and I realised I never filmed an intro. So here's the intro. We're building a filter for $0 and I'm going to drop that video right now. Let's get stuck into this filter. You guys have seen in the thumbnail what the filter is going to be made out of. I haven't actually made the thumbnail yet, but I'm pretty sure I know what it's going to be. So I'll show you how committed I am to making this filter. I've got plenty of buckets over here that we could use, but check this one out. This is a nice fresh bucket here. It's got a sticker on the lid. I'm gonna try to get that off somehow. But there's one problem with this bucket. It's full of food. So we need to find a home for the food to use this bucket. Alright, so we've got the bucket ready, but I may have actually told a lie. We might need to go to Bunnings. I'm going to have a look around and I'll let you guys know whether we're going to Bunnings or not. But I just had a quick look for something and I can't find it. Alright, so what I'm looking for is some 25mm PVC. In the nature of the build, I have some 20mm PVC here. If we don't find 25, I need one single piece of 25, but we can go twin 20s. If need be, but I'd prefer to go 125 with 2 airlines. Give me a minute. So I just did the dumbest thing, guys. I picked up my phone and started recording my vlog. We don't use that for vlogging anymore. Alright, so I found 2 elbows. The elbows will work for what I need, and we're going twin 20mm pipes because we're sticking to the nature of this build. We are trying to build a filter without going to the shops. Then next up, in this bucket here, we need one. Oh, come on, let me pick it up. Where'd it go? 1, 2 of these little barbs, 4mm barbs. Or do I run air stones in them? I'm undecided, guys. I kind of want to do pressure chambers for these because it's such a large IBC. Get the most flow, but I don't have the fittings to do it, and we're trying to do this without going to the shops, which I've said like 600 times. So let's just send it. We'll just put these in the side. It'll make plenty of power or water flow. Next up, we need to drill the lid. I want to do that first because it's going to be painstakingly long. Alright, so we just got a 1mm drill bit. Oops, I bumped the camera. And I'm going to cover this lid in holes. I'm not really going to film it because who wants to see me drill like 1,000 holes in this? Alright guys, so I snapped the drill bit twice, but we got it done. That drill bit is actually stuck in there. So one thing, when you're drilling small holes, I learnt the hard way. Make sure you get all the burrs off. And watch your fingers when you're using a knife. This is a key point, cleaning the burrs off. It actually creates drama. Like the sediment collects on the burrs and it blocks the flow. I've had it happen to me before, so learn from my experiences. Alright, so now I'm going to drill 2 25mm holes, one on each side, right on the edge. So one of the main reasons I wanted to use 25mm is because I've actually got a hole saw that is a tight fit for the 25mm, but this should be alright. It's loose, so what I'm actually going to just put something around it. I'm not sure what yet, because we want this to be fry safe, guys. So I need to fill that gap there, but we'll figure something out. Alright, so now we've got the lid sorted. We need to sort these pipes out. So first thing I'm going to do is drill. I'm using my arbor bit because that's a good size drill bit. We need to drill one hole in there with a bit of an angle like that. Same on this one. And then we get our 4mm drill bit, which is also snapped, but it's alright because we've still got the end. And drill that one there, right near the bottom. So then we've got our barb fittings. They now go in that 4mm hole. And I'll show you a little trick. Some of the OGs have seen this before. If you wind the drill, get that actually sitting in there, you can put it in with the drill. You have to be super careful, but because it does snap them extremely easy. Now I can't get it out. Turn it the wrong way, guys. Duh. So now that's in there with the drill. I should have maybe done that a little bit higher now that I think of it. So that's alright, we'll figure it out. Yeah, no, I changed my mind. We are going to drill that a little bit higher. Sorry, guys. You'll see why shortly. It doesn't matter that there's that extra hole there. It's not going to affect anything. We want 25mm here to allow, because this jap mat is going at the bottom, so they really need to be about this high. But you guys are getting live action. I'm not going to edit that out. We make the mistakes together. I'm just glad I realised straight away, not later. Get that in that hole. Oh, check it out, guys. I've almost run out of airline. Sad times. I need to order another roll, but I can't really afford it at the moment. I'm actually buying a crazy amount of extreme fish food because it looks like it might not be being imported into Australia anymore. So I'm just trying to cover my own ass and buy a shitload. So now we're feeding the airline in that 6mm hole we drilled. Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot to tell you guys before, the arbor drill bit is 6mm for those of you playing at home. And then we hook that on there. Obviously you don't want to pull that too tight, you want to keep a loop there, otherwise you're going to kink the hose. Alright, so I was looking for the scissors and I found a bit of sponge while I was looking around, so that sponge will come in handy a bit later on. Alright, so now we're going to cut this jap mat to match our bucket. While we're on the subject, even though we're not, I really want to get a proper vlogging table so I can set up and you guys can see better what's actually happening. Maybe a little bit more professional. I'm going to think about how I'm going to cut this jap mat, I think. This is like the Rigididge jap mat, not the cheap shit, so it's actually ridiculously hard to cut. So I did what any normal person would do and got the 5-inch grinder out. And it's made a perfect fit. It's kind of oval, but it seems to fit fine. So now I need to put 2 holes in this. I wonder if the hole saw will go through it. Let's have a look. So I've got no idea if this is going to work, guys, but you guys are going to come along for the ride with me to figure it out. Nah. No deal. Oh. I've got another idea. Alright guys, round 2, we've got the diamond bit. We're going to try a different spot, but... No. Not a chance. Drop a comment if you know a better way to put a hole in this. This stuff is insanely dense. Can you guys see how hard it is for me to even get a knife through it? But hopefully the pipe will fit through that. This is insane. I've got other jap mats, but they're not like this. This is next level. I feel like someone's going to drop a comment on a really easy way to do this. But this is my way. Alright, so now we'll try to get these pipes through that hole. Yeah, we got him. So then the elbow goes on there. And then I've just got a little bit of pipe on there. It's not really a necessity, but it's on there. Man, this stuff's tough. Alright, so that's one on. Let's get two on. Wrong end. Flick it around. So you may ask, why am I putting jap mat at the bottom? The main reason is to stop the media getting sucked up into these pipes and clogging them. But there's plenty of people run jap mat at the bottom because it's actually a biological media, not a physical media like a lot of people think it is. Man, that was intense. So now, so those two pipes sit under there, and then so this area here kind of acts like a void. Those two pipes will actually hold the jap mat off the bottom. Okay, so now for our test bit, I've dropped that in the bottom there. I'm going to feed these two pipes through here. Airline, sorry. One reason I use this bucket is this lid is a really tight fit. So in those gaps there, I can probably just use some of the jap mat offcut. So we'll keep hold of some of that. So now pretty much we're ready to fill it with media. Alright, so for media, I threw the rest of the jap mat in there. There's no point in wasting it. And then I'm just going to get some clay beads in there. The idea is the clay beads just fill the gaps. And I want the clay beads sitting around those air lines so they don't get kinked. And then you guys might spin out about this one. I'll probably keep them in the bags. I got some bags of coral. We'll chuck them in there. That bag's broken. We'll leave it there. Obviously I'm just checking my pipes every time because we've got to make sure we can get the lid on this thing. A few more clay beads to level it out. Now, one thing you will have to accept with building this filter, they aren't easy to clean. So you're sacrificing ease of cleaning, but you're gaining ridiculously low electricity bills. So to clean this thing, basically I would get like a 80-litre tub and just tip the whole thing out as one, take the lid off, dump it out, and then repack it like I am now once you've rinsed it out. So I found some handy dandy backy rods. Now for those of you who don't know, backy rods are my favourite media. They're pretty readily available, and they're pretty well priced. You get, I think they're, unless you're going like the clay beads and like DIY media, as for like store-bought media, I think backy rods is about your cheapest option. Don't hold me to that, that's just a guess. That's probably going to be enough there. Let's fit them all in. There's a couple of marine pure spheres as well, might as well chuck them in. Let's figure this out. If we put them hopefully that lid's still going to go on. And then we're only going one layer of sponge in the top. I don't know if this piece I've got's big enough. I've got a full sheet, but I don't really want to cut it up. Still recording. Sorry guys, this video is pretty long. I'm working it out as I go. I need to make a decision here. Do I cut it? I'll make it work, guys. Alright, so I made it work with what we had. It was actually only 2 pieces cutting it out of that what we had. So now there's a little bit of a gap. There's a gap between the lid and the foam. I've done that to try and keep good flow through this. I didn't want, hang on, needs to go that way I think. I didn't want the sponge hard up against the lid. Maybe it needs to go the other way. Restricting the flow. Alright, so those pipes aren't straight by any means. We're not here for a beauty pageant. So now I just need to rip up some sponge and jam it in these gaps. That worked perfect. Alright, so no fry can get through them now. Alright, let's get it up on the bench. So one major thing, we need to take the metal handle off. That's going to be no good for the fish. I'm probably just going to use string line and suspend this thing. I don't want it all the way at the bottom. So I'm just going to tie some string line in the holes that we just created. Alright guys, so we're putting it in. Now getting in. Well, I was going to say getting in is going to be really difficult. but it wasn't difficult. It's going to float out first because it's full of air, but I've got an air pump here somewhere. I don't know where. Oh, there it is. So this is a damaged air pump. I'm going to need to find a tap to plug this in because that the little fitting in there is snapped off, so I can't take that air hose off that pump. Alright guys, so I found a joiner. Well, it's not a joiner. Can you see that? It's actually an elbow and I used it as a joiner. We'll plug that air pump in. So you guys might be wondering why I'm tying this and not putting it at the bottom, because right now it's running off an Aqua One air pump, and if you guys have ever used these, you'll know how absolute rubbish they are. The reason I'm using it is because it's free, and we're doing this for free. I am actually going to run probably an LP20 out here. I don't have one, but I've got the 2 IBCs, a 4-foot tank, and my water change system. I could be running them all off one air pump. So we just need to get the rest of the air out of this now. I feel it's getting heavier and heavier, and now it's sinking. Oh wow, it's at the bottom guys, and the air pump's actually working. Alright, so it's going to be really hard for you guys to be able to tell, but there's not huge flow coming through it. I'll give it like 24 hours. Once it all settles, and that we should get a little bit more flow than this. So at a guess, I'd say this filter would maybe turn over 500 litres per hour total, and it's running off like a 7-watt air pump. I do think I'll pull this filter apart and put pressure chambers on it, because I think it would be really advantageous in this situation. But for the theme of the build, $0, I didn't want to go to Bunnings and buy the parts to build it. So the fact I'm only putting Fry in this IBC, this will be plenty. I don't know if I'd put 2 in here. Maybe one day, we'll see what happens. Alright, so I've just pulled some sponges out of another tank, and we're going to quickly squeeze them in here. I'm getting attacked by mozzies, so I'm in a hurry. Alright guys, it's getting late, it's like 8 o'clock at night, so I'm going to wrap this video up there. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this explains how simple you can make a fish room. I'm all about simple and cheap as possible. I'm not sure what we're going to be doing tomorrow guys, but if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.